Joker has aged like fine wine if wine aged well over the course of a few days. I've had a decent amount of time to mull over things, but as more time goes by, I love this movie more and more. This is a modern-day Oedipus Rex, a Greek tragedy bending the hero's journey in such a way that enhances how deranged this movie is. No, this film is. Joker is a cautionary tale. It in no way glorifies violence as fabricated nonsense would have you believe. Instead, it does the opposite. Make no mistake, this is a tragedy. Joker can say otherwise, but he's crazy, don't listen to him. This is a sad and preventable descent into madness that has really bleak endings. Because of this topic, this message is bleak, can be bleak, but shouldn't be bleak in our world. It doesn't have to be. This movie talks about basic concepts from human decency and courtesy to really complicated ones like mental health, treating it, talking about it, class division, and unrest. It's deep in a way that doesn't come off as pretentious. It's just telling a story in such a visceral way. In fact, that's the best way to describe this movie. It's visceral. It grabs you by the throat, which is odd because the violence in this movie is palpable but simple. Outside of one scene, which in its own right is just brutal, the deaths in this movie are really just gunshots, and after an era of 80s action movies and during an era of John Wicks, it shouldn't really affect you as much as it does, but there is such a tension prior and shock after that it makes you feel genuine fear and surprise. It's sudden and there's dense, very real air that just hangs over you. And the best part is, these surprises make the movie better. The twists actually rectify problems I had watching the movie, rather than creating new ones. For example, Sophie, Arthur's love interest, getting turned on by his stalking just out of the blue, batshit crazy, that makes me more concerned for her health rather than...
She's
crazier
than him.
But then they go on and fix it because their entire relationship was just a maddened hallucination, and it justifies the lack of development for her as a character. This entire film puts you through a rainbow of emotions with a overcast at the same time because the beautiful music just hangs over you and creates this horrible atmosphere that I haven't really felt in a long time from a movie. Especially a comic book movie. This movie's depressing, sad, exciting, haunting, beautiful, suspenseful, tense, shocking, real. And none of that at the cost of the movie. It's just... so good. The music is hauntingly beautiful. That's the best way I can describe it. It's solemn, and it will make you feel every note, every chord. The soundtrack was actually composed before the movie, so the scenes are the actor's response to the tone set by the script and the music. Speaking of, the acting in this film is stellar. There's not one bad, even subpar, or just okay performance. Everybody's doing their best, everybody feels like an actual person, good or bad, and few characters are painted wholly negatively. Even Murray, who does some really shitty things, is only trying to make people laugh in this really dark and depressing time for Gotham. And most of the anger we feel towards him is because we know what's going on in Arthur's life. Thomas Wayne slugs Arthur because he touched Bruce, strangled Alfred, and then snuck into a theater Wayne was attending to confront him in the bathroom. It's an awful situation, but would you really do anything different? The cinematography is also excellent. The color and shots are beautiful. It really makes Gotham feel unique in a way it hasn't since the Tim Burton films, but not to that degree. Now, there are problems I have with the movie, and there are some things I would change. I still don't know how I feel about the weird dancing, though bathroom dance is beautiful. Check it out. Or especially him going down the stairs, because it feels like tonal whiplash, but it's also not. It's meant to be tragic, but through his eyes, it's him finding his footing, so it also kind of works. There's also some shots that hang on for too long, so the scene comes off more so as awkward than anything else, but most of the time it works. I'm just trying to justify the fridge scene. Also, the dialogue could be more memorable, but that's really it. Most of this is actually pretty nitpicky, so hi here, there you go. It also just feels incredible to have a desire to watch a DC movie again, and then want to see the movie twice in theaters again so soon after. Gracing a movie twice in theaters with my presence is exceedingly rare. The ending too also leaves me wanting more, even though I would be content with this just being a standalone film, and I'm pretty sure it will be. The thing is though, Arthur Fleck doesn't really become the Joker until he's on top of the cop car making a smile out of his own blood. Not even on Murray's show, I don't think he has the confidence or control up until this point. and I want to see a stable, in-control Joker from Phoenix. Someone put it nicely like this: Ledger is Joker, Phoenix is becoming the Joker, and it takes the entire film for him to complete that arc. So when people compare the two, I really can't say anything because it's apples and oranges. They're completely different characters. You could look at it on an objective basis on the quality of the writing or the performance to a degree, but they're both trying to achieve two very different things and fill two very different roles. But what does this mean for the future of comic book movies? Joker is setting records, doing very well, and I think this is because, well, aside from being one of the most popular comic book characters ever, it's a new take on a comic book movie. Like I said in my franchise fatigue video, I'm tired of the superhero blockbuster, and this wasn't that. It's a grim character study so different from any comic book movie, well, almost ever. There's no real antagonist, no big bad to fight. It's about this poor guy trying to find his way in the world, only he finds it in the worst way possible. And I can definitely see why people wouldn't like this movie, but isn't that a good thing? Not in a sense of this movie is terrible, so let's make half of everyone hate it, but more so, this isn't my cup of tea, where other superhero movies have largely been marketed to everybody, families, and in such quantity that it becomes old. It's just so refreshing seeing this unique take on a series of comic book movies that all just feel the same, especially with the age of the MCU, where tone, with few exceptions, is pretty even across the board. But now we have shows like WandaVision, which is supposed to be a sitcom, or Doctor Strange 2, which is supposed to have... Oh, damn. There's some really exciting things here, but I especially want to see what DC has in store after Joker's success. They have proven that they can really make different films. I don't want more movies like Joker per se, I just want more movies that break the mold and find new ways to present a vast medium that is so often relegated to one genre where possibilities are endless. DC has something here, and until Marvel does the same, I'll just have to wait and see what they can do before I'm too excited. I'm just not too sure about Birds of Prey.